All right, welcome back to another episode of Just Buy Less Coffee, answering the deeper questions of American politics. My name is Troy, aka Keep Troy Blue. With me, as always, is Cathy Cannon, aka Cannon's fodder, and I am back from a spirited bout of the Rona. I think I don't know. Jesus Christ, I couldn't even get out of bed for like 4
Troy
days.
was dying for
This
like
was
2 weeks.
this
I was
is
like,
the
"Hey, Troy, are
worst.
we recording?" He's like, "No, I'm dead." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I might as well be dead. This is the worst call I have ever had. This is a bastard. This is a bastard covered bastard with bastard filling. Yeah,
Bastard covered with bastard filling. That
yeah,
is the Trump
it's bad.
administration, if I've heard it described.
Yeah, basically, I had the Trump administration version of a cold this weekend. Um,
Relentless, stupid, and evil.
Infesting my lungs. So this is just I want to give a shout out to your people real quick, the Canadians. So we had the Four Nations hockey tournament took place over this weekend, or part of it. We had the U.S. Canada hockey game, and we had 3 fights break out in the first 9 seconds of the game. 3 fights broke out in the first 9 seconds of that hockey game. Just U.S. and Canadians just pummeling the ever-loving shit out of each other. So yeah, interesting. That's
Oh, Canada.
I mean,
Actually,
that's intense. Oof.
I saw like I want to say it was a TikTok. It might have been a tweet. I don't fucking know where I see anything anymore. The world bleeds together. But it was something about how like we're not disrespecting your anthem, right? Like when basketball games or baseball games or hockey games, like they've heard the American anthem so much, they're like, we know all the words to your anthem. We'll finish it for you if like the person singing it like muffles up or whatever. Like it's not the anthem we're booing. It's your fucking president. Like, let's
Yeah,
be
yeah.
fucking clear here. We don't have a problem with America or Americans. We have a problem with America's president and his bullshit. And like I
I can't.
said, don't fuck with the Canadians, man. They burned the
That's
White
gotta
House
be
twice.
annoying as fuck. Like because there's like 6 hockey teams. There's 6 Canadian hockey teams in the NHL. So the chances that they're just gonna hear their own anthem are like slim to none. Like they almost never just get to hear their own anthem. They almost
Mm.
always have to hear the US anthem too. That would get really old, like really old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. But yeah, so like it's getting really precarious. You have like massive fights breaking out at these. I think the United States ended up winning the game, but yeah, really intense. Canadians aren't taking any shit, man.
Yeah, I saw like somebody asked like, "Is this just hockey culture or is it like something else?" I'm like, "It's Canadians giving a fuck you, so we don't want to be part of your stupid fucking country."
Well, it's the Canadians, it's the Europeans. We'll get a little bit more into
Yeah.
that in a little bit. So Trump is saying that the United States is going to take over the Gaza Strip. Um, just give a Brazilian to the Gaza Strip, I guess. I don't know. He says we're going to take it over. We're going to own it. He said he just keeps saying we're going to own it. He's just giving no details about how that's going to happen. The entire world is calling this like basically advocacy for war crimes. I mean, he's talking about permanently removing the Palestinians from Gaza.
Yep.
The White House walked that back. They're like, well, he just means temporary until it can be rebuilt. And then he doubled down. He's like, nope, we're going to get them permanently moved to Jordan and Egypt. Jordan and Egypt are both like, we are not taking them. This is their land. You can't just take them off their land and put them in our country. Hamas has says that they will not be cooperating with it. What the fuck is okay? What's the plan here, Cathy? Like, is he serious? Is this like? I mean, I guess we have to assume he's serious. Like, the
Well,
statement alone is damaging the ceasefire talks. I mean, because why would they negotiate in good faith on the ceasefire language if they're just going
yeah,
to be removed anyway? If there's just this ethnic cleansing about to happen anyway?
there's not. And like here's to that point. The ceasefire was never going to be taken seriously as soon as Donald Trump was reelected. Like Bibi played along with it. So when Donald Trump came into office, he'd be like, "See, look, a ceasefire was solved right away," because they know immediately everyone will stop paying attention to it and it won't matter anymore. But like the thing that I want people to walk away from with this is that like Trump is framing war as real estate deals, right? Like his view to foreign policy is such that like every potential war zone is a future real estate development. And if that is the way he's thinking, I don't see how you're going to talk him out of letting people just lay waste to territories, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, they've been talking about this for a while. Gaza's beachfront property. Jared Kushner said in a talk at Harvard that it would be very valuable waterfront property.
no, wait, what did he say? A
And
Gulf-funded development in Palestine. Like they're treating humanitarian crises as investment opportunities.
Trump
Like, would you like to invest in the humanitarian suffering of the Palestinian people? We can add pools, right? Like,
calling it the potential Riviera of the Middle East. I mean, like, there's almost nothing you could say about it. It's just, I mean, he said he was going to do this kind of on the campaign trail. He talked about it.
yep,
I don't think
this
anybody
shouldn't
took.
surprise anyone
I
with
don't
a
think
brain.
anybody took. I don't necessarily took him seriously, but we all knew that like Trump Tower Gaza is in the back of his mind somewhere.
I
So I
took him
mean,
seriously, man. I was screaming at every fucking watermelon mafia motherfucker who was calling me a genocide supporter. I was like, no, no, no. I just don't
I
want to
don't.
see their houses laid to waste for Trump Tower. And oh, look, their homes are going to be laid to
I
waste
don't.
for what? Trump Tower.
I don't even want to. Like, I have nothing to say to those people. I don't even want to give them oxygen. I mean, we lost a sizable chunk of our audience.
Good fucking
Just
riddance.
just for supporting Biden and then supporting like, are you
It
fucking
wasn't even
kidding
like,
me?
and I didn't
This
even
is
support like I was over here like I wish to God he could do more, but like I understand how fucked the situation. Oh, never mind. I'm still so
the
mad.
whole like both sides bad stuff is infuriating because this is
How
not
we got here.
Kamala's. This was not Kamala's plan. Kamala was not going to do this.
Yep.
Even just talking about it is causing chaos in
Yep.
the Middle East. But if he actually goes ahead and does this, and by the way,
Yeah.
Netanyahu's out there like nodding his head. He announced it as a press conference together. Well, Netanyahu's like skirting being arrested by the International Criminal Court. Somehow he's like sneaking in and out of DC, so he doesn't get
Because
arrested.
Trump won't enforce the war, and and he basically said any country that does is like out of his cool kid club, which is a cool kid club I'd love to get kicked the fuck out of,
Well, it's a
by the
cool kid
way.
club. It's
With
the cool kids club with the K's, but it's an ever
it's
shrinking.
the cool kids club with bad makeup and racism. Okay.
Yes. But anyway, so Netanyahu's like nodding and he's like, as Trump is, making ode to war crimes. And yet Netanyahu's like, well, yeah, that is something we should explore. US ownership of Gaza. That could be historic. So he's not even trying to hide it. He's like, basically the plan for Netanyahu and the far right in Israel is just to have the United States military kind of do their dirty work.
Yeah,
Something they've been wanting to
imperialism.
do for a century. Just wipe the Palestinians off the map. But if he goes ahead and does that, if we have U.S. troops on the ground occupying Palestine, I mean, essentially it becomes a war of literally biblical proportions. That becomes like
Yeah.
Armageddon, literally Armageddon. Every Muslim nation on earth will go to war to drive us out of Palestine. Like at this point, I don't think the Europeans are fighting on our side, man. I think it basically the entire
Not
we have
after that fucking speech this weekend by Mr.
ugh,
I'm a Catholic, but the Pope hates me.
ugh, get to that in a second. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're just fighting the whole war. It's us and Israel against the entire world. We only have Israel is our only friend left, Kathy. That's it. We don't no one else likes us anymore. We're done.
What a friends to have.
Anyway, it's just it's horrifying. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a really scary few years just on
It is, and
on
it's
that front
like
alone.
to the point where you said like if we have American troops on the ground in Gaza, I don't think it's an if question, Troy. It's a when question, and that like we're fucked. We're fucked. We're fucked.
At that point,
Um,
it's
yeah.
like when did the generals step in? You know what I mean? Like,
That's truthfully like you want to know what I've been thinking a lot about is mutiny on the bounty. When do we reach the point
yeah.
where the US military is like, maybe no. The problem is that like the rank and file military is deep in the cult.
Well,
Not all, but
It'll split it. We were talking
yeah.
about this. Like the generals are highly educated.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them. obeying an order to just needlessly invade these countries, start these like meaningless, massive wars. I mean, for what? For Trump's ego? Like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't.
unless they can
It's gonna
see
come to
the
that.
profitability of it. Because if you recall the early 2000s, we talked to generals, even noble ones like Mr. Colin Powell, into doing some truly fucked up shit for the profitability of, Halliburton.
Yeah. Uh. Oh yeah, and then okay, so that's the Middle East, and then you have this ongoing stuff with Ukraine and Russia. Trump just sort of announcing that he's going to be meeting with Putin to discuss peace
He
talks with
he's
Ukraine.
gonna be meeting with Putin to know what he's supposed to say when
Right.
he meets with Zelensky. He's gonna meet with Putin to get his marching orders because that's the rule.
So now we're just like legitimizing. So this would be like if Hitler, couldn't invaded Poland, but couldn't make a go of it, and it took like 2 years, and Hitler was just stalled out in Poland,
You mean
and
like
then
when
all
he went to Italy to ally with Benito Mussolini for help, and then that gave him the help he needed to take Czechoslovakia, which gave him the ammunition he needed to go into Poland? You mean like that, Troy? Because that actually fucking happened.
well, I mean, like, what if none of that had happened and he'd like stalled out for like 2 years in Poland and made no progress, and then all of a sudden, Roosevelt is like, all right, well, we need to bring Hitler into peace talks here with Poland. It's like, no, it's not a war. It's not a war. It's not like a two-sided conflict where both sides have a beef and we just need to like work their shit out. Like, it's an invasion. It's not, like,
Yeah. This is more the Czechoslovakia than Poland thing, because this is
okay,
Lebensraum, right? This is living space. Poland was like a
you would
stalemate
know
where
the,
like
the term for it,
I
you
do,
Nazi.
in fact, because I'm a nerd, right? Because Poland, like the Soviets wanted Poland, and then Germany wanted Poland, but they both knew that they both had big ass armies that would kill each other. So they were just like, how about I won't go for Poland if you don't go for Poland? It's super fun handshake. And then Hitler was like, all right, Stalin's not looking, so I'm going to go take my piece of Poland. So Stalin was like, how about fuck you? I'm going to take my piece of Poland. And that's World War II.
Piece of
Because
Poland.
prior to that,
Yeah.
it was just Neville Chamberlain being the whole, okay, you can take a little bit of Czechoslovakia. Okay, you can take a little bit more, but that's enough. Okay, well, I can take some more, but please no more. One more piece, Mr. Adolf, and then you're done, right? No, fuck you, Neville.
Such a pussy.
Donald
Fucking,
Trump is Neville Chamberlain. That's what I want to say. Like, he thinks himself the Adolf
there you
Hitler.
go.
No, sweetheart. You are the little pussy ass bitch that is Neville Chamberlain.
Wasn't Neville Chamberlain like, other than the appeasement thing, wasn't he actually like a great prime minister? His like reputation
I
was
don't
just
know.
totally
It kind of all
tarnished.
got overshadowed a little bit with like, how about we just give Hitler a little bit of Europe?
Ironically, at the Munich Security Conference, which they just had, the JD Vance gave an absolutely disastrous speech, just lecturing Europe about democracy. Listen, United States democracy. I don't know, like, whether these people are gonna get it through their thick skulls, but like the United States is not exactly like a model of democracy. Like, do these people not realize that? Like, they still haven't figured out that other countries have democracies.
Yep,
Like, do they
they
really
think
think
that
like
we're it.
they really think that like we're the only country on earth with like a constitution and free speech and all that?
They
So anyway,
also
just
think we invented democracy. I was like, I would like to introduce you to Greece or Rome or the Native American tribes of the Americas prior to the genocide that destroyed them.
so he gives this speech and he's like lecturing them about democracy and fascism as if our situation is like these people are pitying it. At best, they're pitying us right now. At worst, they fucking hate us. And he's like lecturing them. It was awkward. It was really
The,
awkward, and no one clapped. Like it was like a Jeb Bush please clap scenario.
the
Uh,
arrogance of JD Vance is like off the charts.
Let me play a little bit of this shit here. Yeah, like it was just painfully um awkward to have Vance like trying
saying
to
here, play this
is
clip.
We're at the point, of course, that the situation has gotten so bad that this December, Romania straight up canceled the results of a presidential election based on the flimsy suspicions of an intelligence agency and enormous pressure from its continental neighbors. Now, As I understand it, the argument was that Russian disinformation had infected the Romanian elections. But I'd ask my European friends to have some perspective. You can believe it's wrong for Russia to buy social media advertisements to influence your elections. We certainly do. You can condemn it on the world stage even. But if your democracy can be destroyed with a few $100,000 of digital advertising from a foreign country, then it wasn't very strong to begin with.
One guy.
Yeah, one fucking guy clapped.
It was like in
And
his
I'm
staff.
guessing, yeah, one guy in his staff who was told to clap, and you can hear it echo through the building because it's literally the only clapping happening.
This guy was like a first-term senator, like 6 months ago. Nobody had any fucking who wrote.
He never even filled his first term, right? He got like halfway through his first term in the Senate.
Nobody has any fucking idea who this guy is, like Mr. Hillbilly Elegy here in Europe, trying to lecture people. Then he went on to say, like, so he's basically telling them that, like, they need to just get over Russian election interference. He went on to say that the real threat to Europe is not China or Russia, but it's a threat within. They're like continuing this, like,
oh, we're back to that, are we?
And then he said,
you know what?
Go ahead.
Trying that in Europe is not going to be like, it's easy to get away with that bullshit in America because nobody can read past Junie B. Jones, and like they didn't pay any attention to their soccer coach teaching them history. So I understand how they're getting away with it with their base here, but Europeans know World War II history pretty fucking well for no particular reason at all. You're not going to get away with like canned Hitler talking points in Munich.
Like, yeah, literally in Munich.
They're gonna see through it there, especially.
Yeah. It's talking about like the threat from within. And at one point he tries to make a joke and he's like, if the US can handle years of being lectured by Greta Thunberg, then Germany can handle a couple months of being lectured by Elon Musk. It's like, first of all, Greta Thunberg is not German. She's Swedish, first of all.
First of all, she's a teenage girl. How fucking sad are you that when given an international microphone, you're complaining about a teenage girl who hurt your feelings because she likes the environment, because she likes trees? Like, it hurts your feelings that a 12-year-old girl likes trees. I know she's not 12, but for fuck's sake, JD.
She keeps getting younger. She's like, doesn't age at all. She keeps getting younger.
Everybody under 30 is 12.
She's 22. She's 22, so she's no longer
she's
a
12.
child.
Like, in my world, if you're under 30, you're 12. And you can ask every baby teacher at my school. They're 12.
Some people just don't age in Cathy's brain.
Once they're 30, they're fine.
Yeah. 22-year-old Greta Thunberg. But yeah, he's like, so, okay, and this is based on Elon Musk coming in and basically interfering in the German elections, which are this week. German elections.
To support literal Nazis, y'all. Literally the new
literally campaigning for the ideological descendant of the Nazi party in the AfD. And the Germans, even right-wing Germans, are like, can you get the fuck out? There was... Tesla's purchases are plummeting in Germany and France and the UK. They're like way down, dropped like 60% year over year. In
start
France.
Selling stickers that say swastikars for everybody to put on their friends' Teslas to force them to sell them.
Well, they have these stickers. I saw one the other day that say like, I bought this before Elon went crazy or whatever.
Yeah, and if I don't see that sticker, you get a swastikar sticker. How about that?
And apparently there was a German small business owner who sells those stickers, and I guess he ran out of stock. He said he got over like 2,000 orders in one day for those stickers. So yeah, so I mean the Musk brand is just going to become toxic in Europe and Germany and France. Like people and he's just fucking with he's just talking about their elections, let alone what he's doing in the US. Like I can't I don't know. I can't. Why, people are still driving around in Teslas is baffling.
I would be like so humiliated. I'd have to sell it. Like, there's nothing I could do. There's no way I could justify driving it around.
I wouldn't even slap a sticker on it.
I'd sell. Like, I saw Sheryl Crow sold hers and gave the money to like NPR or something.
Yeah,
which good for her. She can afford to do that, but not all of us can afford to just eat the price of a Tesla.
Yeah, expensive car.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, JD Vance telling him to just get over Russia, just get over Elon Musk's election meddling because we've had to deal with young Greta Thunberg lecturing us. There's like
He's
a
like the
weird,
one-slur who, like, makes fun of the Lorax. Like, "You one-slur man, you." Like, Jesus
there's a
Christ.
weird like pedophilic streak in these men who are like intimidated by Greta. I don't know what it is, but like Greta, for some reason, they're just like they just can't get over this
It's
woman now.
girls with a
She's 22.
yeah. It's when women have the audacity to think for themselves, Troy. They're instantly
Yeah,
evil and embarrassing, apparently.
yeah, yeah. So disastrous speech, and once again, like I don't. It's really just embarrassing, and I don't know. I mean, just being here in Europe, you really feel it. Like it's
Yeah.
embarrassing because they don't understand that like Europe is way, way, way past the United States right now in just a
Yeah.
lot of ways. So for the United States to be coming out there and JD Vance and Donald Trump and like trying to assert some sort of like US mentorship over Europe, like it's 1952 or something, is it's fucking
Yeah.
embarrassing. It's really bad.
It was even obnoxious then because we were still like 12-year-olds geopolitically. We just didn't get bombed to oblivion because there was a big ocean between us and where the bombs were coming from. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So Trump has now just had the presumption to just invite Putin to talks on the war in Ukraine. Um, Zelensky, I can't. It goes back and forth. I guess Zelensky now says he won't take part in the talks and he won't accept the outcome if he's not involved. Which I mean, obviously, why
well,
would like
yeah.
how are
Like,
you
I'm
gonna
not gonna
have?
sit and let other people it's like when Otto von Bismarck, like, invited everybody to the Berlin Conference to decide the future of the African continent, except the leaders of the African nations. It was just like, "Come on, Europe,
Well,
let's
yeah,
decide how to cut up Africa by ourselves. They'll make do." Like, I hate
yeah,
it here so much.
yeah. Um, So, but yeah, so Zelensky, like, okay, so Trump is meeting with Putin, and he's like, yeah, it's going to be the United States and Russia hashing this out. We want no Europeans involved. Is Europe? He was asked, like, is Europe going to be involved in these talks? He's like, what for? Like, why would Europe need to be involved in these talks?
Yes, why would Europe
Um,
be involved in something that directly impacts European safety and security? What silliness is this all about?
so Europe is holding an emergency session to discuss what the hell they're going to do. Select group of leaders from Europe discussing basically post US, a post US world.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think we come back from this. I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are. Like if we get another Democrat in 28 and everything's fine, I don't know. I think the damage has been done. I think people are going to start moving on and envisioning a world where with a US in a highly reduced role
Oh,
internationally.
yeah, we're like France in the '80s. Exactly, right? Like, why? What was France doing in the '80s? Fucking exactly. We're doing nothing.
You're just full of historical context today. That's really good.
So it's how I roll, yo. It's how I roll. It's how I
Uh,
cope with trauma is I bury myself in like the 18th century because I hope it's not worse there, but it's never worse there anymore. It used to always be. It used to really, really be a good tool. It's not. It's not. I got
yeah.
to go back to like the 1500s now. I'd be like, well, at least they're not burning witches, but give it a week.
Well, there might be soon. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Give it a week.
Yeah, we're not far off. And you know what? Diminished role for the US, like good.
Yeah,
Like
seriously.
just like enough's enough. Europe is just miles away, miles ahead
Yeah,
of the United States
we
on
are
just
too
about
stupid to
everything.
be in charge, and I'm saying that as an American. Like I said, Junie B. Jones. We have an 8th grade reading level, y'all. Don't trust us with global security.
I've really started to see that myself. I don't know if you'd call me like arrogant or whatever, but I still thought that, we were a good country and like a good people. And like now I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. I don't know who we are anymore. I really don't. Like, you could make the point. It's like, well, he didn't get the majority of the vote. Not everybody voted, so it's not like a majority of Americans support this, but a huge portion of Americans didn't show up and vote. So, I mean, a huge portion of Americans didn't care enough to try and stop it. So, it's
we're like the
depressing.
Nelson Muntz of the world stage, but like we're somewhere between Milhouse, Van Houten, and Nelson Muntz. That's how seriously the world takes us.
So yeah, just to have JD Vance up there, like trying to lecture Europe about all this is pretty bad. Trump wants Ukrainian rare earth. Like what? Like now he wants like Ukrainian minerals and like Ukraine has some rare minerals that make them a juicy. Ukraine's been invaded like a billion times because it's a relatively defenseless place and they have a lot of like agriculture and it's the wheat, it's the breadbasket of Europe.
But why Trump wants Canada too.
But now Trump is like talking about Ukraine paying us back for our support in making a deal for their rare earth to do like mineral exchanges with the US. And basically Trump presented Zelensky with this, or somebody presented Zelensky with this agreement for like US to have Ukrainian mineral rights. And it offered basically nothing in return. It was basically like, you can make it up to us for all the money that we spent on, for your defense by just like letting us have free reign to your mineral rights. And Zelensky basically told him to shove it up his ass.
The money we spent, you mean the money you repeatedly held hostage, putting our safety and security at risk because you didn't want to give it to us at all, but since you lost the fight, now you want us to give you something for it? I'll say what I opened with. Eat all the dicks, sir.
Eat all the dicks.
A bag full of them. I'll send you a bag full of gummy dicks.
Why
they sell them, it is funny.
Why do you have a bag full of dicks?
You can buy them. Haven't you ever seen this? You can buy a bag full of dicks. Hold on. I'll show you.
Like for like bachelorette parties?
Yeah, well, I guess that's what they're for, but it's like they're candy, but you literally can send people a bag of dicks in the mail. I can't believe I know about this and you don't. How is it that I'm the one that knows about this?
I don't know. I don't Google bag of dicks on the regular, I guess. I don't know.
Well, neither do I, but I know it's a thing. Well, maybe because I'm around teenagers and they say, Miss Canada, did you know you could do that? And I'm like, there are things you don't have to share with me. The number of times in my life I say, kids, there are things you don't have to share with me. I think I'd get paid more if I got a nickel for every time.
Bagofdicks.com is a thing. Basic bag of dicks, singing bag of dicks, evil bag of dicks, black bag of dicks.
Yeah, interesting. Man. You can even buy t-shirts. Black of dicks shipped within the United States, Canada, and UK. Where all the classy people are.
I'm surprised you can't get hold of those bag of dicks in Spain.
No, I think I first learned about them. It's like it's a way of like women will send them to like their boyfriends when they've figured out that they broke or they're cheating on them or something. So like, hey, I got you a present. You open it up and it's a giant bag of dicks. It's kind of funny.
I really wish Bag of Dicks would sponsor our show. That would be fun.
Yeah. Then I would really be embarrassing, wouldn't I?
You want to talk about your?
No, I don't. Okay. I'm just making jokes. Just making the jokes.
All right, we'll skip over that.
Even Rocky's like complaining, like, "Quit bitching, woman." I know.
Poor Rocky.
Sorry, Rocky. I know. Poor Rocky. Nothing. He's spoiled.
That's okay. So we've got Gaza. We've got potentially World War III of the Battle of Armageddon, where we're taking on every Muslim nation in the world.
The horseman of the apocalypse. I'm growing locusts in the back.
He's literally the Antichrist, Cathy. He's literally the Antichrist. He's like leading us into literally to Armageddon, to the biblical Armageddon. The last.
I know they're reading Revelation like an instruction manual. I'm like, I think y'all misunderstood the warning of that book. It's okay. Work here.
That book was okay. That was John of Patmos on an acid trip. That book means absolutely nothing. The people that,
it's the biblical dark side of the moon, right?
John of Patmos dropped acid basically, and was tripping balls, and wrote down what he saw, and that became the Book of Revelation.
The oceans will turn to blood, and there are 4 cups of poison. I can't even remember it all. I was like. All I know of the Book of Revelation I got from like that one weird series on Dexter, like season 6.
The angel's gonna throw his bag of dicks into the air, and that'll.
You know what? That is an apocalypse I can get on board with. That is totally fine. May the rapture come and rain dicks upon.
I know you haven't gotten any in a while, but geez.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so we got biblical
I hate you
Armageddon.
so much. I hate you so much.
We got biblical Armageddon coming in the Middle East. We've got basically World War III in Europe happening. Zelensky saying he wants to create an army of. They should create an army of Europe. Basically preparing for Russia and United States to be on the
You mean
same
the
side.
Allied forces? I think they've done that before.
So yeah, I don't know. Is there any way that this doesn't? Is there any way that this is all bluster and we're not actually going to be in World War III here in a couple of years? I mean, this is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I don't like. I used to consider myself pretty smart and being able to see things coming. If we ended up in a war, the real question is whose side are we on? Because like on the
Right.
surface, you'd be like, oh, well, we'd probably side with Russia because we're bad. But Putin doesn't like us, nor does he really want
he doesn't
us
like us either.
He is using Donald Trump as the hapless idiot that he is. He's using Donald Trump to get what he wants, which is Europe.
Wants to destroy the U.S.
Yeah, and like, so like if Donald Trump thinks he's just going to ally with Russia and then they're going to be the most powerful in the world and that China is going to come to his rescue. No, honey, Russia and China will side with Europe to destroy America. Like they're going to play you like a fool until you put yourself in a position to alienate all of your allies. Then they will run to your allies to destroy you. You know how I know this? Because the Soviets teamed up with the Allies to defeat Hitler when Hitler was the major like economic and military powerhouse that was challenging them. The Soviets and the Third Reich, that was the battle. America came out on top of it just because the Soviets and the Third Reich destroyed each other and the British Empire went bankrupt trying to help. And France was, France. That's the only reason we ended up top dog in the world. There's no other scenario where we do. And we've been sitting there kind of by accident ever since. But the European Union has been coalescing and sort of learning how to cooperate for, 20 years now, I think? They're 20 years into their fun little, common market experiment with the euro. The euro is as strong as the dollar. So now's the time. We're sitting ducks and we have an idiot in the White House. I'm scared. I'm going to go
officially. I mean, the European common market's been a thing for a long time, but
yeah, I know. But like when they switched to the euro, I mean, like they've been on the same currency for about 20 years now, because that was really what solidified the market for them. Like it gave the European economy sort of like a collective power that it didn't have prior to that, which means that the European market now, the euro, like trades on the dollar. Like what's the exchange rate euro to dollar right now? And all they have to do now is
very close. It's almost
it's 105 to 1 euro. So 1 euro is $1.05. That means that the euro is actually stronger than the dollar. So this would be the perfect time to tank the US economy, because then what happens? The euro just takes over as the common like currency of the world. And it's just like the British pound all over again, but Britain left the common market. How ironic would that be if the Bank of England ends up like leaving Europe to try and reclaim their status as the global currency, just to have the currency they refuse to accept become the dominant currency?
Well, the BRICS currency is going to be a big deal too.
But it's not as stable as the euro right now.
Well, yeah.
The euro goes to war, of course. Yeah.
What's interesting is there's like this exchange place by my house where we go sometimes to like pull out large chunks of cash. Large chunks, in euros, because we still have American bank accounts.
Yeah.
And they have all the exchange rates on the wall. Like they have like a big thing on the wall that has all the countries and all the exchange rates.
Ooh, take a picture of that so I can use it in my class.
Russia is zero. Like the Russian ruble has zero value in on the euro. And like you said, like you just said, it's like 105 to 1 or whatever for USD. So it's shit's about to get bad when I'm gonna keep going in there and like checking it, because I think like as the dollar starts to tank, then that's gonna be it's gonna be a problem. Because even fucking Russia, like Trump is making Russia look like reasonable right now. with this Gaza shit. Even North Korea came out and said, "Oh, you can't do that." Like even some like fucking North Korea came out with a statement that was like, "Yeah, you can't have
Oh
Gaza
my
in our watch."
god. I can't
Uh,
believe it. Like when the dictators are like, bro, slow down. Like,
yeah, like Putin looks like Putin was like, slow your roll there, buddy. So it's I don't know. They're like, I don't know. They may end up siding with Russia. Mexico invited Russia to put military bases in their country if the United States like invades, or like if like U.S. military forces cross the southern border. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has said that she will ask Russia to set up army bases in Mexico. So
so
that's where we
Arizona
are.
and like New Mexico and California now are going to get their very own taste of like what Miami in the 60s went through, right? Just build the bomb shelters, y'all. They're fun to smoke weed in when you're in high school. Not that I would know.
What I don't understand is like, why did she ask China? I mean, they have so much investment from China already. I mean, China basically owns Latin America. But yeah,
Because that wouldn't have stung as bad, I guess. Maybe. I
yeah,
don't
this
know.
is a big fuck you,
It's
Gulf of
definitely a big
America.
fuck you. Don't even start, man.
So it says so in Europe, if you Google, like on Google Maps, it says Gulf of Mexico, and then below it, it says Gulf of America in parentheses, which I thought was kind of interesting. Because I guess it just says Gulf of America in the United States.
I guess. Apparently, like Donald Trump like threatens media organizations that if they don't start calling it Gulf of America, then they're not allowed to have press credentials or some shit.
Kicked the Associated Press out of the White House
Yeah.
briefing room. Kicked the Associated Press.
The Associated Press, like where all the news gets their news. Like
Literally like the oldest, most respected news organization in the country. And they kicked him out for
replaced it with
lying.
I thought it was because they replaced them with OAN. I was like, let's take the most respected news organization in the world and put this fucking hokey piece of shit in its place.
The official reason they kicked him out was for lying, because they called it the Gulf of Mexico, and they're like, we can't have lying journalists in here. Like, really? Like, oh, oof, that's bad. That's bad.
Also, did you see Donald Trump has his mugshot hanging up in the fucking
Yeah,
White House?
yeah, I saw that. That's pretty funny.
How
Oh my
fucking
god.
gross is that? You know what I mean?
Ugh. The thing is, it's not in the Oval Office, but it's like in like the
In the
little side
hallway or whatever.
office,
Doesn't matter. It's
which
his
tells
mugshot
me,
is hanging in the West Wing. You know what I mean? Like,
which tells me like again they're just desecrating the West Wing. I don't even know. Like, I remember the first Trump term when he got out of there and Biden moved in. I was like, I don't even want to know the like fucking disinfectant they're gonna have to spray all over this
right?
place. Now it's now he's talking about, so they dug up the Rose Garden the first term. Now he's talking about tearing out the grass and putting in like a fucking gaudy style patio out there, like to remind of Mar-a-Lago.
I know. Like, it was bad enough when they ripped up all the flowers. Now they're just like, as somebody from Florida, no, don't, no. The last thing we need is another fucking white concrete patio. I assure you. No.
Statues of Trump like outside the West Wing. And then the rumor today was that they're going to put like a 200-foot, that they put a 200-foot statue of Jesus on the front lawn of the White House, which would be like it's the size of a 20-story building.
Yeah, Donald Trump wouldn't allow that because he can't let anybody be worshipped before him. That first commandment's about him. You knew that, right?
He's the Antichrist. Armageddon.
I know.
Armageddon, Kathy. Armageddon.
I know.
Yeah, on that note, he's also this is a nice little way to round all this out, this nightmare end of the world shit. But he's posting Napoleon quotes. Did you see this? He posted
I saw it.
he who saves his country does not violate any law, which is an interpretation of a quote attributed to Napoleon.
I'm waiting for the picture of him with the robes, with his thing, like that famous picture of Napoleon after he declared himself emperor. I'm waiting for that to be published, probably in Fox.
So the creepy thing about that is, I mean, that's not about what he's already done. I think that is about what he plans to do, and that's less about not like obeying law, which is that's a huge part of it. But that's about conquest. That's an ode to Napoleon. I mean, that's about
It's
with all
also
this
about
going
him.
on.
It's about ignoring all the court rulings, right? He's very Andrew Jackson circa Trail of Tears with like ignore, like everyone's like, oh, well, the courts keep stopping him. That's his way of saying the courts aren't stopping me. And it's not going to be breaking the law when the courts don't stop me because I'm saving my country from some version of it I'm scared of.
So
which is people having rights, I guess.
He's prepping a Napoleon-style conquest of Europe, of the Middle East, Canada, whatever. I mean, so we got, we knew we were getting racist fascism.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And no one really expected that we were going to get like megalomaniac take over the world version of Trump. Like, how the fuck did that? Like,
was nobody listening to me, Troy?
Only Cathy.
Only Cathy. And I was like, and I would make jokes. I was like, I understand. This sounds like I'm reading Unit 3 of your world history textbook, but that's because we're living Unit 3 of your kid's future world history textbook.
I don't know. He should find out what happened to Napoleon. Actually, he should find out what happened to Mussolini. That'd be more apropos.
I'm like of the way all the dictators ended, right? Especially the big ones. Like Napoleon, he's on track for Napoleon because he's already been exiled once and come back. I would say he was on the track to be Hitler, but he never went to jail, and at least Hitler went to jail once. Whatever. He's pretty close to Mussolini with the way he's basically like sold out the country to a bunch of corporate hacks. And again, more like Mussolini because he's really, really wanting the bigger fascists to be his friend. Like Mussolini had a hard on for Adolf Hitler. He was like, please be my friend. And that's very much Donnie chasing Vlad around, like, please be my friend. So he's always had more Mussolini energy to me. So let's hope the trend continues.
Yeah, quick Google search on how Mussolini went out.
So anyway, yeah, I don't feel like getting arrested and getting sent to Gitmo, so that's definitely a Google search, kids.
Mussolini, man, that guy was not popular at the end. I mean, he just he went out with no glory at all.
And he was only popular for like 54 seconds, and it's just because like in the absence of anything else, Italians were like, I still drive my Vespa, right? Whatever. Like, do I still get tea in the afternoon?
Well, it was when he tried to ban pasta. They went after him. They were gonna
like, no meatballs on Thursday. Death with Mussolini. That's what it is.
Musk responding to Trump's Napoleon quote by posting 14 American flags, which is a Nazi dog whistle. He posted 14 American flags at 1414 to 214. That's a reference to the 14-word neo-Nazi creed. I'm not gonna read it or look it up or anything, but it's basically like to protect the future to guard the future for our white children or something like that. But it's 14 words long.
I know it. I'm aware.
So blatant dog whistle from Elon Musk on Trump's Napoleon.
But he's not a Nazi. People will tell you it was a Roman salute, Troy. It was just him giving his heart to the crowd. The rest of the Nazi quotes just a coincidence, very obviously. Like, oh, he didn't even know. The guy from apartheid South Africa couldn't possibly have any understanding of white supremacy.
How is this world real?
Ugh. Bro, I don't know. I feel like I went on like a really bad bender once in college, and I'm just like living. Like I told you, remember like the version of Back to the Future where Marty McFly, where Biff Tannen got the sports almanac, like that is the version of Hill Valley we're all living right now. And I need Doc Brown to get off his ass and go fix the timeline.
Yeah. So speaking of Doge, we'll go out with a little bit of Doge disinformation, but debunking, because that's going on right now. We have a South African apartheid immigrant.
Doge. Like,
I know there's so much is going on. People have sort of forgotten about the Doge thing, but yeah, that's bad. By the way, the Doge website was hacked, and they're posting like classified information. They're posting like personnel salaries for like intelligence agencies and military agencies. They're posting like top secret salaries,
man.
And it was so unsecure that like it was hacked a few days ago, and the hackers were literally like posting shit on the Doge website. Like these idiots didn't like secure their database, and it was like signed from the hackers code, like the hackers alias. Someone was like, "This is the easiest fucking site I've ever hacked in my life," something like that.
They're gonna get so many people killed, and it's gonna be so tragic.
Doge disinfo. No, they did not spend $600 million on the federal government did not spend $600 million on sushi. First of all, that's a fuck ton of sushi right there. I know sushi is expensive.
That's like a Titanic size boat, you know?
It's fish. You can't buy that much. It doesn't store. Like, it doesn't keep. It's sushi. You eat it immediately.
You got like 2 hours max before it's food poisoning.
Like, they're just like force feeding sushi. They think like what? I don't know. I actually looked it up. The most expensive sushi in the world is a restaurant in Japan. It's like $2,500 for a plate of sushi. So if there's
is it like the puffer fish from that one episode of The Simpsons where if you cut it wrong you die?
No, but pufferfish. I've had pufferfish. It's delicious.
Did they? Well, obviously they cut it right, unless that's why you've been sick for 2 weeks. Oh. Kathy's got the jokes, man. She's got the jokes.
I had some bad puffer and I got sick.
Oh my God. You can't say that. You're in Europe now, and that means something different.
I know.
Again, kids, that's a Google search because I don't want to go to the camps.
Yeah, you can't say fanny pack and the whole other thing here.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, they just you need to be trained.
Spain was fascist very recently. Troy, be careful.
Very recently, actually. You just have to be trained to cut the poison sac out of the puffer, so it doesn't get any poison. Oh God, what is happening?
This is where Kathy's a 12-year-old boy. I'm sorry.
Bag of dicks. So no, that came from a fucking. It wasn't even. It's a parody account. It's not even like hard to. The account is literally called "Not Elon Musk" on Twitter that posted that. And
seriously, the man is so coked out of his mind. Like, he is a drug-addled weirdo at this point. Like, our country is being run by alcoholics, pedophiles, and drunk-addled weirdos. So nothing should surprise you.
So Ron Filipkowski posted that the other day. Like, does he actually have autism, or is he just a fucking like cokehead?
He has no formal diagnosis of anything. He has no formal. Like, he tells everybody
he's constantly tripping out. Like, he's on like ketamine. Like, he's on like a ketamine
he's
high
as a fucking kite. But here's the thing with him. Like, he tells the world that he has an IQ of 160. There is no documented evidence that his IQ has ever been tested. He tells people he has autism or Asperger's or whatever. No documented diagnosis anywhere. He's self-diagnosed because he's smart enough to do that. Sure. Like, no, you know what he is? He's an insecure little boy whose daddy doesn't approve of him and mommy didn't hug him. So now he does drugs to fill the hole in his soul that 15 children couldn't fill because they all hate him. Imagine having 15 children and spending Christmas by yourself with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
Did you see the video of his son in the Oval Office
telling Donald Trump he wasn't the real president?
Yeah, telling him to shut his mouth. Holy God. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I heard him say. Like, I've heard a bunch of kids say that the kid told him he wasn't president. I heard him, like, all I heard was, I need you to hush your mouth, is what I heard him say. But that's funny in and of itself.
There's a different interpretations. Like, Tizzy's interpretation was that the kid said, shut your fucking mouth. But I don't think the kid said, shut your fucking mouth. He just said, like, he said, like, hush your mouth or something.
Yeah. That's
but he definitely said, you are not the president or something like that. Like,
did he really? I couldn't hear that. But then again, like, it was whispered. But I definitely heard him say, I need you to hush your mouth. But it would track if he said, you need to hush your mouth. You're not really the president. Because I know for a fact that Elon Musk is going around by himself talking about how he's the president and Donnie's not. And the imagery, and you know this, optics is like 80% of politics. And the optics of that picture was that Donald Trump is working for Elon, not the other way around.
Yeah.
And that means that this is the hostile takeover of the United States government by a South African-born apartheid sympathizing.
Oh, it's a coup. Nazi.
It's a 100% in real time. So when I go visiting everybody, just know I love you. And if I didn't get out to Spain for Troy to save me, then I'm at Gitmo getting a tan that my skin will never take because I'm from Northern England.
Burn you at the stake.
I'll just be the Red Lobster bitch at the thing yelling for aloe.
The aloe budget's off the charts at Gitmo. I wonder if he what's the dynamic of their relationship there? Do you think Elon has? I mean, everybody has compromise on Donald Trump. Elon's got maybe the Russians gave Elon some shit. Elon knows where all the piss videos are.
That's what I was going to say. It's the only thing I can think, because Donald Trump's ego, I can't see taking this for much longer. But like, how many times
he
does he
clearly
actually
can't actually stand the guy. No one on Trump's
Oh, I
staff
know.
can stand the guy. Like,
And like, I know there's been a couple of different times where he's had to like come out and remind everybody that he's really the president, and that can't be making him feel good.
Elon's got all the piss videos.
He must have all the piss videos. And if so, Elon, come on, man. Do one good thing for the world right now.
I could momentarily get behind Elon if he
I will.
released the Donald Trump
I'll
piss video.
exactly. I will cease and desist calling your Tesla swastikars for an entire week if you release for every piss video you release, because I know there's more than one. So if you give me a piss video, I abstain from mocking you for a week. You two are an insecure little man. I know you don't want me making fun of you.
Well, he's got piss videos too. He's got pegging videos. Probably they've all just like shared each other's videos. They've all. It's just like
what if there's a video
where they're like all pointing guns at each other?
What if there's a video of Elon pegging Donald Trump?
Well, that's what the Russians have for sure.
That is something that would make me gouge my eyes out and never want to see the light of day again.
Why did you bring that up? Because now I have the.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm mad at myself. You know why? Because the world is ugly, and that is just what my brain does now. Now I'm sad and grossed out.
Stop making me laugh. I have a hellacious cough, and it's like,
no, guys. Like, he keeps having to mute his microphone because I say funny things, and he has to go die off camera. So I ramble a little bit more. So now that I'm rambling, it's because Troy's dying. Cathy's killing Troy slowly with her humor.
Pegging videos and piss videos. It's 5 p.m. here. The light is like blinding in my face through the
Elon, come through for me, man.
One piss video, bro.
One piss video, and at least one thing is forgiven. I won't say all because
no. Here's more disinfo. No, Chelsea Clinton did not get $84 million. She does not. She doesn't get anything from USAID. She does not draw a salary. You could say, well, maybe she got it through the Bill Hillary Clinton Foundation. Nope. She does not draw a salary from the Bill Hillary Clinton Foundation since at least 2013. And the Bill Hillary Clinton Foundation did not get anything from USAID since at least 2008. And back then it was like $7 million. So where they even got this $84 million, I have absolutely no fucking idea.
From their assholes, Troy. It's where they get everything. They make it up and they think people are stupid enough to believe them. And lo and behold, up until this point, that has proven to be true.
Pulling it right out of their bunghole.
I think that's the most depressing part to me, is that like they say such blatantly nonsense stuff and everyone's like, oh yeah, that tracks, that makes sense. I'm like, really that makes sense to you?
No, we did not send condoms to Hamas or to Gaza. We did not send them a shit ton of like condoms promoting safe sex in the Gaza Strip. And then was it Sean Hannity? Somebody said that they were no, it was Jesse Waters said that the Hamas was using condoms to make bombs. I don't know how that works, but
that tells me that man's never needed to use a condom in his life, because he's had sex probably once, and it was with his mom.
Have you never?
No, his mom's cool. She makes fun of him. I regret.
Have you never handled a condom there? Have you ever seen a condom? That's not
seriously. Like, is that like water bomb? Maybe. Like, are we dropping water balloons? Because that's the only bomb I've seen a condom turned into, and that is funny because there is nothing funnier than a water balloon hitting you and then you realize it's a condom. That's actually pretty funny. And if Hamas was doing that, props to them. That's solid sophomore level college gold right there. Like,
more Cathy college stories.
You know what?
That dude has never seen a condom in his life.
I swear, they're just so fucking ridiculous, all of them.
So anyway, that was some disinformation. Yeah, it's a lot of condoms, like millions.
What is the world that we have to tell people? No, condoms cannot be turned into bombs that kill.
I'm just trying to think about how that would work. I guess you fill them with gasoline or something. I don't know. It's like a Molotov cocktail, but it's a condom. I don't know. It doesn't make
even still, I don't see how it would work. Like, I just, fine. Okay, Jesse, whatever you need, man.
Jesse's just,
gold star for creativity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I'm sure his wife is fine. They've just got a good gardener.
Yeah.
Those azaleas are looking good.
He's got a pool boy. Got the pool boy phenomenon. Okay, Cathy.
I know.
That's enough for now. So check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/justbuylesscoffee. You can see our pretty faces. Check out the video content there. Subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/justbuylesscoffee. You can subscribe $5 a month, get access to behind the scenes content, stuff that doesn't make it onto the regular show. Maybe we should do like a condom balloon demonstration video. Put that on Patreon.
Nope. I'm gonna go ahead and say no to that one.
They just have like condom like machine, like in Spain, in Europe, where we don't live in like a heinously moralistic Puritan society. They just have like condom thing, like machines on the sidewalk. Like you can just walk up and like put your coin in and get a condom.
That is wild. It's like in the 80s, you could do that with cigarettes in America, which shows drastically different priorities as countries.
They have like the pharmacies all have like dildos and stuff. Like it's a pretty forward thinking country.
I don't even know how to respond to that one, Troy. I just
just walk. Anyway, so check us out on Patreon. We'll do a condom balloon demonstration video.
That is incorrect. That is false information that Troy is giving you now.
If you're listening, wherever you're listening, Apple, Google, Spotify, make sure you're clicking that download button. Downloads are how we are measured with other news and political podcasts. Doesn't cost you anything. Download the episode to your device. Help us out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you, Cathy, for a great conversation. Hang in there. Things are not good, but there's a place for you.
Doing my best. Yeah, doing my best, Troy. I'm doing my best.
Thanks, everybody, for a great conversation, and we will see everybody next time. You've been listening to Just Buy Less Coffee, answering the deeper questions of American politics, featuring Troy Matthews at Keep Troy Blue and Cathy Cannon at Cannon's Fodder. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and X. All opinions are our own.